I wanted to make sure I get this right, so I wanted to correct this. Now, this is the power. I'm doing the game last night, getting ready for our podcast. We have a lot of viewers in Europe, and both the trainers are Japanese. And I found the article yesterday on the January 18, 1960 plane crash by the Lakers. And I didn't know that story, and I thought I knew pretty well everything about basketball, whatever. And I remember reading it and how eerie, and I misspoke. Jerry West wasn't on that team next year. The link that I found had a picture of Wilt Chamberlain, but Elgin Baylor was on that plane, and I said, that's a slip. I said Slick Watts, Slick Leonard. And of course, the great Brooklyn Connie Hawkins was on that plane. And so I remember finding that yesterday, and I was thinking to myself, high irony, and God, it bothered me all night after the game last night. The great game between Weber, Montana, because I'm friends with Jarek, and this is so crazy about this story because I'm friends with Jarek. He's going to play in the NBA, and you could see him in the first of the game. I'm doing the game. I'm in the arena, and you could see he had anxiety real bad. He didn't score till 12 minutes into the game, and this is one of the top scorers in the country. Then he went off for 32, hit multiple, boom, 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 boom. After the game, I talked to Jarek, and he says, "Yeah." I said, "God, you didn't look like." He says, "I had anxiety." I remember when Kobe used to get anxiety like that, and Kobe Bryant was such. I mean, this is such a giant story because I walk in the library to, do some work this afternoon. I've been busy, There's one of his trainers. They're from Japan. And I said, "God, was you at the game?" "Yeah," of course, they're the trainers. I said, "You know the story about Kobe Bryant?" "Oh my God." And I'm talking about Italy because my granddaughter's named Gigi, and his tragic daughter, and and I go out. I think it's so horribly wrong that the NCAA tries to capture athletes and say you can't come out. Well, LeBron James came out as an 18-year-old. Moses Malone came out as an 18-year-old. Kobe Bryant sure the hell did. I remember his press conference. "You don't think I'm smart enough?" Rattled off in multiple ways. And the trainer says, "Well, his dad coached in Japan." I forgot. Then it hit me. And he and I was talking. His name's Joe, by the way. I'm like, "Kobe means greatness in Japan, right?" "Yeah." "Kobe, the Forbidden City." I'm like, the Fukushima hook. Wow. This story is a gigantic story. Black Mamba. My daughter's a fashion designer in Italy. She has my new youngest little baby grandchild is named Gigi. That's what they call this little girl. This is tragic as hell. Kobe Bryant, look, I'm a Puritan with sport. I mean, I'm a pure Puritan. I'm as grassroots authentic. There's nothing more Puritan than basketball. Nothing. The natives played it on this landscape. The Shoshone played it. The Mayans played it. A game, And when Kobe played here, Stockton and Malone, when it used to be great sport, the NBA is a joke. After the game, I'm talking to these players about, European basketball versus American basketball because Weber has 13 players playing in Europe. We've had these conversations. These players are going to play at the next level. I'm friends with Damian Lillard, and I talked to Damian, his bodyguards, and I'm like, it's got to be so bizarre for you, Damian. Here he is, this billionaire. I mean, the NBA is not even a sport anymore. It's not a fucking sport. It's a thing, These players are, it's beyond celebrityism, these players. They're a commodity. That's what I told him. His bodyguard, you can look, there's Damian Lillard when he makes the half-court shot. I'm doing the play-by-play for KWCR, that's a whole other story. I'll get into that later. Me and Kobe are talking. That's Kobe's bodyguard that's sitting with me. One of them. I'm like, you're a thing to sell sports merchandise. The NBA's not a sport anymore. I don't know what. It's just, when Kobe played it was. You know, and the rivalry between the Jazz and the Lakers was giant. And I'll tell you, that's back when there was Puritan fans all over this town. And this is a basketball state, big time, like North Carolina, Indiana, Utah. Oh, yeah. It was Puritan. You know, they'd boo Kobe, go crazy on Kobe. You know, there was rivalry with Lakers Jazz. But I'll tell you what, I've never seen anybody get more standing ovations in the old South Palace and the Delta Center than Kobe Bryant. And this is the creepiest. This creeps me out. I'll tell you what. Yesterday I'm getting ready to do the podcast when I'm doing some work on a player named Joe Krebs that played from Missouri, that played for SMU in the day, because I was doing some work on, you know, he used to be the fighter. He'd come in and fight for these players, and I stumbled on this, and I didn't know this story. And I found it yesterday, and I posted it on Facebook yesterday. A Lakers plane crashed in Iowa. You're talking the 1960 Lakers. On January 18th, almost, God, 60 years, almost to the day. Elgin Baylor, who's one of the greatest athletes who ever lived, was on that plane. Connie Hawkins was on that team. Slick Leonard was on that. I misspoke. Jerry West wasn't on that team yet. Will Chamberlain surely wasn't. Will Chamberlain had the same argument, Will Chamberlain, as Kobe. Oh, you can't come out as an 18-year-old. He had to play for the Globetrotters one year. Same with Connie Hawkins. You know, and so Kobe's like, oh yeah, you're going to make me play college? You know, I remember he did the press conference in multiple languages. You know, Kobe means greatness in Japanese. And I verified, I thought, that's what I thought it meant, and I just asked Yo just now. I says, he lives in Japan, he's the trainer here at Weber State Basketball, and I'm like, yeah, that's what it means. I said, the Forbidden City's named Kobe, right? Yep. What a story. You know, sport mirrors culture. I'm telling you. Unleash the Lions in Italy. I mean, I remember being in the Coliseum. Here's the irony of me being in the Coliseum. And I'm like, where's the $15 beers? Where's the $20 Dodger dogs? You know, I'm joking. And somebody heard me, and what's his name? Recognized me inside the Coliseum. And he's like, oh, it's Kevin Blanche. I'm friends with so-and-so on the nuclear Fukushima, blah, blah, right in the Coliseum. You know. What a story. You know, he had litigation going, you know, Black Mamba with the drug company. Kobe means greatness in Japanese. So, the greatest story in human history is Japanese. We're all Japanese now. You know, he grew up in Italy. You know, it hits close to home because my daughter lives in Italy, and that little baby, my little granddaughter, is named Gigi. Same exact name, Giovanna. What a story. I can't, you know, I find that and I post it. I remember last night, I couldn't sleep all night. It just bothered me. That story on the plane, I don't know why it bothered me. You know, I find that, and then you read through the story, the pilot's actually reaching his hand out the window, cleaning off the windows. It's a miracle they weren't all killed, you know. You're talking 1960 Lakers, you know, they don't get no better. So, what a tragic, incredible. I want to make sure I got this right and get it up. Caveat, I spoke Jerry West, I said Slick. I meant Slick Leonard. Of course, the great Connie Hawkins. He went through the same dynamic as far. I loved Kobe Bryant. He says, I'm a grown man. Who are these people to tell me? I'm a grown man in the United States, in the United States country. Who are they to tell me I have to play college basketball? You know, the lie still goes on, you know. You know, LeBron James, you know, LeBron James and his bling and his money and his grotesqueness. I mean, this should be a wake-up call to every freaking celebrity athlete.